Then a look at the lineup for the men's 4x100 freestyle. Exciting it will be. The women in 3.5 minutes. The men, well, 3 minutes 10 seconds or better. World record at 3:08.24 held by United States. They're looking for a bit of revenge, I think, to take back the world title. So the Japanese Kenta Ito there, the anchor man, put in the second fastest split this morning of 47.93. Very, very useful split time. And they've kept the same team in one. The Daibler brothers in the first half, Fildebrand, Kalupayev. And again, Germany starting a renaissance, really, going towards 2016. They haven't declared any targets. They just want to make finals and then see what happens. 7, Brazil, Oliveira, Santos, Waked and Cherigini. Santos is the second of the Santos Summers. It's Fernando coming into the freestyle team. Brazil with 3:14 from the heats. And then it builds. The Italians adding 2 new members, and of course the seasoned campaigner, the old man of the team, Filippo Magnini, anchoring. He just loves to do that. Can grandstand the 200. I don't know if he'll get a chance to grandstand the 100. The French are here in force. 3 new members. Yanni Cagniel comes in, Manadou comes in, Strabius comes in, and Gillo holds his place from the heats. A much strengthened team from the fabulous French. The Australians, they also add Magnussen and McAvoy to Dorsona and Roberts. Magnussen, the fastest man in the year so far, with a 47.53 100 freestyle. Watch for him bringing the Australians to the lead, as the Australians did in the women's. The Russians, never bet against the Russians, and this World Student Games recent gold medalist Gretchen Ad Lobintsev, Ad Morozov, and anchor with Izitov. A very tough team to beat. And then the Americans, coming from the depth of their swimming, they add Nathan Adrian, the Olympic gold medalist, leading. Lochte with his first outing in the 4x1. Erwin, who had the fastest split from the morning at 47.3. And Jimmy Fegan getting the chance to anchor the Americans. A battle in prospect. The Australians, good strong first half. The Americans looking to take it back. The Russians with a very powerful team and maybe favourites for many. And the French. So those 4 lanes in the middle, 3, 4, 5 and 6. That's where I think the action will come from.
The first leg's going to tell us a lot. Magnussen, Nathan Adrian, Gretchen and Aniel. This is like the 100 freestyle final lineup.
The very thought that crossed the mind. Is this a rehearsal? Well, last to rise in lane 5. It's Gretchen, the tall Russian. But his long stroking, of course, brings him back up quickly. The American, Nathan Adrian, out there early. But again, looks as if it could be very excitable. 22.31 on the split.
It's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable what we see in swimming sometimes.
Coming back on Nathan Adrian. In lane 3, as you'd expect, James Magnussen, ranked #1 in the world this year, and they're both catching him. The Russians and the Australians catch the Americans. The split at 47.95 is nothing too special in the relay stats, but what a race is on.
Well, the Americans once again with the best of the takeovers. Australia and Russia left on the blocks a little bit, a 0.3 or so takeover for the Russians. It should be a little closer for that. Australia and Russia working a bit harder than they need to up the first 50. That 0.2 makes a big difference when you're chasing.
Lochte then into this 4x1. He's not the greatest 100 freestyler, but he is very strong on relays, as you can see him now being overtaken by McAvoy, the Australian in the yellow hat, coming to the fore. Lochte will have the finish though. He won't be beaten. Australia just take it by 0.3. Again, the American takeovers bring them back into full contention for the gold at the halfway stage. The Russians are not finished though.
Well, Dorsonga maybe the weakest of the link. They're not weak at all for Australia. They've got James Roberts anchoring, so there's strength at the back. Russia, Morozov and Izitov, so they've got strength to come as well. Anthony Irvin in for the United States, and then James Fagan. It's going to be very close at the end of this. America leading, but there's life in this race yet.
So we have Irvin, fastest split from the morning, digging in. The old man of the team head down at the finish as the Russian Morozov catches him. Again, the takeover good, but what a takeover from Russia. In 5, it's Izitov who brings them up level. Also, France and Stravius and Gilo, the back half, bringing them to contention. But the Russians and the Americans going away on the first 50. The Australians not living with this pace, James.
The Australians can't do it with 50 to go. We've got a three-way fight. Now maybe a two-way fight. But look at the turn from Stravius for France. 3 in it. This is the top 3 as Australia still not out of it yet.
Australians driving hard for third. Stravius hanging in there. The Russians under pressure. Jimmy Fegan from the Americans with the responsibility. It's a fantastic finish from Stravius. He goes to victory. France 3:11.18. It's 3 seconds off the world record. That does not count anymore. It's a goal to France. They've stolen it from the Americans. They've stolen it from the Russians. They take the silver and the gold respectively, but what a swim from the French.
46.9 from Gilo, bringing them right back onto the top of this race, with Stravius finishing it in a 47.5. Fagan with a 48.2 did the damage for the States. Russia, well, 47.4 from Morozov and Izitov, just to shade out that, but look at this. This is what it means to the French.
Even in the 100 relay, you have to be very careful about going out too hard. And Fegan and Izitov blasted that first 50. The splits round about the 21 high mark. That is awesome splitting, but they paid the penalty in the end. Stravius coming through to just nick that gold medal, and there's how close it was. 1-8 to 4-2 to 4-4. Gold, silver and bronze in the 4x1.